And amidst claims that the government received written advice that the Iraq war was illegal, Tony Blair denies that any such letter ever existed.
That's... There we go. And that's the bastard there who tripped me up. So that's what it's about. But I can't go any further without congratulating Ian. I know that's not been officially announced till tomorrow, but Ian is going to be the new Doctor Who.
Oh, come on, wow. It's a southern Doctor Who now. Yeah.
I didn't see the famous party political when they, you know, with Gordon Brown and Tony Blair being...
No, I didn't see it either.
No, only the fallout.
I did. I was the only person in the whole country who watched.
Well, was it really, you know, the nude wrestling scene from Women in Love? Was it all of that?
Yeah, without the nude and the wrestling, but...
pretty much...
No, it's incredibly moving. It's a love story, you know. Anthony Minghella, he's done The English Patient. It's beautiful. Camera work, soft focus, Gordon, Tony, Gordon, Tony.
But Ian's a time traveller. He can take us back there. Can't you?
I see.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think the two crucial, the two ideas you come back to the whole time are the future and the many, not the few. In other words, the basic value is always the same. How do we create a society where everybody, not just a few, get the chance to succeed? That's the basic motivation. That's why we're in the Labour Party, not the Tory Party.
Would you like to meet other gay men in your area? 0898.
The great thing about the video is there's no continuity. In one of them, he's wearing a tie, and then it cuts, and he's got an oak-neck shirt, and then they cut back. They obviously couldn't get the two of them to be happy in the room together for more than a second at a time. And people always say this is a display of friendship when Blair's saying, "You're marvellous, Gordon," and Gordon says, "Yeah, I am." That's it. It's not reciprocated.
Yes, I am.
To show how things have moved on...
Yes.
Party political broadcast-wise, we've actually got one from 1951. Labour Party political broadcast, worth having a look at.
Maybe you've got some wrong ideas about us, and Sir Hartley Shawcross and I want to try to remove some of them. To begin with, for instance, you may be wondering how it happens that someone so well-dressed, well-educated and well-off as Sir Hartley Shawcross, how he comes to be in the Labour Party. What's your answer to that?
My answer, Chris, is why on earth shouldn't I be?
That's the style.
Oh, I love that.
That interviewer was Christopher Mayhew, who later on took hallucinogenic drugs as an experiment on BBC. Same bloke, yes.
Oh, really?
Halfway through his trip, he was asked, what are you experiencing now? And he sort of said, it all depends what you mean by now. That was him.
Anyone see Andrew Neil's politics show this week?
No, missed it. Was it good?
No, I think it set the tone for the forthcoming election. Watch this.
Who's that meant to be?
Who shockingly revealed their intention to vote Lib Dem?
Or was it Gordon Brown?
Brown. He's edited out of that thing, yes.
Billy Bragg?
Not Billy Bragg.
Yeah. He's in Oliver Letwin's constituency, and he thinks there's a chance of getting rid of him. And if you see this photograph we've got, you can see what he's on about. Look at that.
Wow.
It's a worry.
Make a worthy villain for you in your next series, wouldn't you?
The master.
It's absolutely true. On BBC, it had Vatican confirms Pope died 8:37. You went to ITV, Pope dies 8:37, Vatican confirms. You went to CNN, same thing. Sky had same thing. Fox News had Fox News confirms Pope's death. Fox News confirms it. like the bishop came out and said the Pope has passed on, and one of their reporters said, yeah, I'd like to come in and look around myself. Actually, had Fox News confirmed...
Punch him in the stomach, see if he winces.
Of course, that gave Robert Mugabe another opportunity for one of his "you've been framed" moments.
He comes up with them, doesn't he?
He is particularly brilliant at it, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an ordinary surprise, this one. He did it during the peace.
He did.
When everyone has to say peace be with you, and it's the middle of the Pope's funeral. That overcomes Mugabe and says peace be with you. What can you do?
But that's what you do at the peace.
It's the bloke between them saying, I now pronounce you man and wife. That would be good, wouldn't it? Oh, that'd be the best joke. 24 hours before the wedding, I'm legally married to Mugabe. I'm awfully sorry, Camilla.
What did Charles put down as his occupation on the wedding certificate?
Mrs. Mugabe. He's married Mugabe. It's a story that I can't be gagged. I've tried, I can't be gagged.
Seaweed has been used to forecast the weather for generations, and how does it do this?
OK, we need a proper answer here, don't we? We've done the wet joke.
We've done the wet joke.
It's very special stuff. There's scientific little pods in it. Podules, they're called. Podules. And, yeah, you've heard about them, podules. And if the podules are green, then clouds will be seen. And if the podules are dry...
then sunshine is nigh.
Yes.
Is that right?
No, but it'll do.
We belong to the seaweed circle, that's how we met.
And now on the theory that while some people are interested in the markets, everyone's interested in the weather. Here it is, shorn of the usual folksy nonsense about clouds bubbling up and advice about wearing woolly socks. Eastern parts will mainly avoid the rain, except for those that don't. Western areas will be cloudy, with rain, except in those places that don't have rain. Temperature. And finally, by popular demand, the second Newsnight weather forecast. Take an umbrella with you tomorrow. Controversially to tomorrow's weather forecast. It's a veritable smorgasbord. Sun, rain, thunder, hail, snow, cold, winds. Almost worth going to work.
I think, though, he excelled himself. I think he excelled himself on Wednesday night. I think this was his finest hour.
The forecast, it's April. What do you expect?
Howard, I'll kill what badgers?
Kill.
Yes. It's late now. It's late. Let my people go. Yes, it's late.
This is an easier way of playing it.
They're happy.
There is the new Pope with remarkably kind eyes, don't you think?
Peter Andre, very happy.
Yeah. That's the Pope tribute band looking on.
We're doing that sketch from Monty Python or something. Yeah.
He's a very simple, humble man, he says. He walked through the wrong door, found he was Pope, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And he stood on the balcony and he said, "Calm down, dear, it's only a Pope."
Thank God we got that out of the way. So it's old Ratzinger is the new Pope, the man with the kind eyes.
Yes, how was the news announced? Obviously billowing white smoke.
We had a bit of Latin first.
Yeah,
a big build-up.
Habemus?
Habemus Papam, which is sort of big it up for.
Yeah.
You like that?
Big it up for?
Yeah. Bit of cultural patois.
Are your children becoming teenagers?
What did the former Cardinal Ratzinger have that no other cardinal had?
I don't know. The ear of God, the finger of Jesus, I don't know.
He had a fan club on the internet where you could buy all sorts of Ratzinger things, like, anyone like to guess?
Wind up doll with the eyes of a killer.
Wind up doll.
Pope on a rope. Very popular shower attachment.
Yeah.
Paula's toilet stop drew no complaints from the other competitors.
Why did you suddenly go deeper?
I thought it would just change the...
That was gravitas.
Change
Suddenly
pitch.
boring gravitas.
Yeah.
That was good. I like it.
Serious news story
Yeah,
now.
suddenly,
Yeah.
Same symphony, different movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunate
Yeah,
phrase.
chose words there. Rodri Morgan is the odd one out, yes, because the answer is they've all appeared in Doctor Who, apart from Rodri Morgan, who was mistaken for an extra, one of the tree monsters, when he turned up for an interview in Cardiff. Yes, what did Andrew Marr's recent filming involve?
He had to stand outside number 10 Downing Street, so he was, he thought himself into the part. Just reporting the fact that the Prime Minister has disappeared, and shortly after the space... Have you seen it, Ian?
No, but if I'd known the Prime Minister had disappeared, I'd have watched.
Absolutely. Spaceship comes in, clips Big Ben, lands in the Thames. 20 minutes later, nobody can find the Prime Minister.
Oh, fantastic.
Fabulous.
What about the Chancellor? Is he gone?
He's gone. He's gone.
Outrage as Doctor Who what?
Outrage as Doctor Who isn't Ian Hislop. I felt so stupid. I announced to the nation last week that Ian was a new Doctor Who, and then the BBC said it wasn't the next day.
I'd started rehearsals at
Exactly,
home.
yeah. Ian and Anne would have come together, travelling through time and space. Travelling through time and space. That's right.
Morse better than what?
Is it Morse better than Lewis? Because Lewis is useless.
No, Lewis
Never solves anything.
Lewis isn't useless. He's there as a good support.
There are fears that monkeys may prove to be only of limited use in criminal detective work, as they have an unfortunate tendency to see no evil... Oh, bollocks.
Can Michael direct you?
Yes, please.
Get ready, get ready. You're rushing it, dear. You're getting over it slowly. Calm down. Do it.
There are fears that monkeys may prove to be of only limited use in criminal detective... Oh, Right, one last time. I'll get
Can we
this
get
time,
another
promise.
director? This one's hopeless.
And feel the monkey. See it.
There are fears that monkeys may prove to be of only limited use in criminal detection work, as they have an unfortunate tendency to see no evil and hear no evil.
What came back to haunt Tony Blair last week? Or this week, actually.
Well, it's been haunting him for quite a while. It was a lie about Iraq.
Yes, Iraq.
Oh, well,
Oh, you don't like that
it's a
word?
strong word.
It's a strong word, I know.
Is there a better word for Iraq?
No.
Toy Town. You lied about Toy Town.
So, Ian, getting back to the Attorney General, he is, of
Yes.
course, the country's leading lawyer. You obviously have got plenty of experience of lawyers. So what I thought...
Yes.
Yes, I mean, I believe you have. So what I thought would be a marvellous idea now, if you were to talk about lawyers, you know, for just a minute, without hesitation, repetition or deviation, and the subject is taking advice from your lawyer starting now.
The main thing to worry about when taking advice from your lawyer is he will make sure that he personally cannot be sued by any other lawyers. Thus, the Attorney General said, on the one hand, we might be legal in going into Iraq, and on another digit-filled...
Hesitation. Paul, you challenge.
Hesitation there when he said digit-filled instead of hand.
Yes, definitely hesitation. Yes, I'm sorry. So there are 45 seconds left. Can you take over the subject? Taking advice from your lawyer, Paul, starting now.
The other day, I took some very serious...
Chris, you've challenged.
Deviation. It's the wrong programme.
Yeah. It's all right, it's the wrong programme.
Am I alone on this?
No, you get a point for that and a correct challenge. You got the subject, taking advice from lawyers, and you start now.
My lawyer lives in Baden-Baden. Jeez. It takes some skill,
yes.
this, doesn't it?
Deviation, he lives in Chiswick.
Yes, recitation is no, right.
That's Charles Kennedy.
And Sedgefield,
something like that. That's who he is. Many people didn't know who he was, and now he's joined the Liberal Democrats.
But he had an amazing claim to fame once in the past. Do you know what it was?
He used to write for Private Eye.
Did he?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, well,
That's never made anyone famous, Ian.
That's a poison chalice, isn't it?
He once called another politician something. Do you remember that?
A liar.
No.
You're not allowed to do that, are
it's
you?
much stronger than that, actually.
A liar.
He addressed this remark to Nigel Lawson.
Oh, did he?
Fat liar.
Yeah.
I've come on the show and the whole tone has descended already.
Yes.
I blame you. It's your leadership qualities.
Right.
No, I don't know. What was it? What did he say?
He called him a snivelling little git. Yes.
It is like that programme about supply teachers coming in. You turn up and everybody's misbehaving.
How does Sedgemoor describe Tony Blair's government? He used one word.
One word.
Decadent,
One word.
corrupt.
No.
Aubergine.
No. Just one word. Tawdry.
Oh, yes.
Good word.
Yes.
Nearly right. Tory.
Yeah.
What did he say about Gordon Brown? He had a phrase for him.
Did he?
Gaudy.
No, no. he was
Audrey.
a little-
Audrey Brown.
A little bit more complimentary about him. He was.
Miss Audrey Brown. The lovely Audrey Brown.
No,
Sexy
nothing to do with
Audrey.
Audrey. No, there was no permutation of tawdry. It was
Then
a
why are you asking me
compliment.
the question then?
Well, all right, I'll give you the answer then.
Go on then.
He said he has a massive intellect but no backbone.
Oh.
Yes.
That'd play hell with your posture, wouldn't it?
It's terrible.
It's why he's always leaning forward over the floor.
He's got that goldfish thing, too.
Yes, he does do a lot of that, doesn't he?
That's just his jaw dropping at what Blair says.
No, he's so full of prudence.
Not Prudence, Audrey.
Audrey and
Why was Stanley's brief time as a spy not a success?
He couldn't remember who he was meant to be spying on and what side he was on. He kept phoning up the Russians saying, I've just found out something. No, you're working for the British. Oh, sorry.
He had an amazing introduction. He used to say, the name's...
He wasn't very successful because he couldn't remember his cover story.
That happened to his son last year, didn't it?
What was his cover story?
Well, one day he met an old friend and he said, "What are you doing now?" I said, "I'm desk officer for the Sudan." And he said, "Oh, no, you're not. I'm the desk officer for the Sudan." Oh, my gosh. I think I recognise that tune. Which tells me it must be time for our instant sale round.
You've lost Ian.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it was before your time, Ian.
It was called Sale of the Century. Quiz of the Week, live from Norwich.
Apparently, poor people prefer something less bland, even if it does give them nightmares. I've said all that once, I don't know why I'm saying it again. So we'll go back again.
We haven't heard you say it, though.
Haven't you?
You probably said it at rehearsal.
Yeah, that's
You're quite right, I did say it at rehearsal, yes.
right. Is it getting a bit late for you now?
Definitely.
Do you want your tartan rug?
You ate the last one. The clue is a Royal Mail. It's the Royal Mail have been bribing people to stay at work.
Yes.
So if you get through
Didn't
6
you
months
buzz?
of...
No,
Not as Paul.
I thought Julia had buzzed. She was looking very worried.
I've got lights in front of me, and it tells me that Paul's buzzer came on first. That's why I spoke to Paul.
You've got lights in
He's
front
got
of you.
lights, yeah.
Have you seen anyone about that?
No, be fair, one of them's a life support machine. As long as that's still on. As long as that's blinking, he's all right.
According to Tissue World, there are plans to build a new tissue-making mill in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Gag. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have read that out. Yeah. We did have gas masks like that.
You did, yeah.
This is like spending an evening with a sort of decrepit old grandfather or something. Sorry.
Julia, I can
I
take
mean
you
that in a nice
upstairs
way.
afterwards and prove to you there's nothing decrepit about me.
I didn't mean it like that.
He might have to take the lift, though. He might have to take the lift. It's a long way up there.
I'm sorry.
As he relaunches his television career, it's a disappointing first episode of the new series Kilroy and Friends.
It's hard to find a more disliked man than Blair, but the Tories did.
And which senior figures then were interviewed at the BBC's riotous party?
Ian?
Yeah.
Ian was on.
I managed to interview the... It was a long night. Lord Falconer. I asked him about postal voting.
Will his reply come through in a few days?
Ian and Andy?
This is students jumping off the bridge outside my old college.
It brought it all back.
Isn't it called the Bridge of Idiots?
Yes, it's named after me.
And how high is the bridge?
It's about 300 foot.
And how deep is the water?
An inch. It's mostly maths students who jump.
Have they finished exams or something? Or...
No, they're not going to take them. Unless they're going to do it from hospital. The Telegraph are terribly thrilled because all the girls' dresses go up so they can put pictures of knickers on the front page and go, this is a serious issue.
There's some lovely quotes that might make you laugh from some of the students who were watching and involved. A lot of people were coming out of the river groaning and holding their ribs. And this is my particular favourite. One man didn't even jump, but impaled his knee on a railing spike.
That's good.
Yes, these are the chinless, brainless, bridge-jumping tosspots of Oxford University. Defending...
Nice to see the class war still being won.
Oh, aye, and don't you forget it.
My God, is it George Galloway?
It was a highly lucrative afternoon for one photographer who sold his pictures to the Mail, the Express, the Sun and the Telegraph. That's Clive Postlethwaite, part-time photographer, part-time river drainer.
We know. You know?
Yeah, no. Paul and Peter?
What do I know?
You said I know something.
You're supposed to tell me.
You said I know, and then you pressed the button, and then you handed it back to me.
I was just asking the instructions of what to do. But I know the answer to this anyway.
OK. That's an early bonus, isn't it?
I get it.
There was something weather-related that happened to Bush in the last 7 days. It wasn't lightning, but something...
It was drizzle, warm front moving in.
No, that was it, that was it. He was rushed into a secret, secure room under the White House because a thick, heavy cloud was moving at some speed towards the White House, and the technology they've got to spot whether it's a missile couldn't determine whether a thick, heavy cloud or a missile, so he was rushed in because he might have been rained on. So... This brave, heroic leader of freedom throughout the world rushed into the White House because there was a heavy cloud coming towards him.
It's true. And they launched anti-aircraft missiles.
Are they effective against clouds?
Apparently.
So what happens to the missiles once they go through the cloud? Where do they end up?
Oh, they wouldn't hit the cloud. It's an American missile.
Yeah. They land in somebody's garden, the other side of Washington. They think, oh, it's cloudy over the White House again today.
And Frankenstein's castle. How did Frankenstein create the monster?
They waited till it was very thundery and stormy, and you cut a hole in your roof and you put him on a table and you wind him up, then you bring him down and you forget that, unfortunately, you've left your hunchback to go and get the brain. He's come back with an abnormal brain because he's dropped the other one. So what it turned out could have been sort of somebody who said, oh, how do you do, how do you do? Turned out big like that. It's not much of a horror movie. Oh, and Frankenstein, didn't you do? I made up with 7 cadavers, didn't you do?
Where in Germany are you going to find the cadaver of an English toff who says, didn't you do?
It's worth looking, though, isn't it?
He'd jump off a bridge if he did, didn't you do?
Stanley Johnson's assistant. I'm a little worried that Stanley's what might what.
Son might turn up and canvass for him. That's happened. Stanley lost. Isn't that sad? He did lose, didn't he?
It's a tragedy, actually. We really wanted that moment, the first father to follow his son into the House of Commons.
Yeah, both Johnsons sitting in the House of Commons, asking questions.
Probing away.
Where am I?
What time's dinner?
Stringfellow, we had a wonderful evening. I was struck by...
the enormous size of Tony Blair's majority.
The sexiness of Margaret Thatcher.
Yes. The answer is Lady Thatcher's sense of humour. Stringfellow thought Thatcher was witty and hilarious, but then he does spend most of his time talking to lap dancers.
Well, she wasn't auditioning, was she?
I feel queasy now.
Yeah, but you'd want to see film of it, though, wouldn't you?
What was notable about Tony Blair's speech outside Number 10, the day after the victory? We decided to tighten it up a bit and we took all the extraneous stuff out, and this is the message, exactly as it should have been delivered on the day.
Thank you.
For any young people watching, V-Day celebrates Churchill's brilliant strategic victory over Adolf Hitler. As you can see, he won because Hitler always chose paper. Hold it again.
This is the dead cat. If your pet dies just as you go into an exam and you tell them that your pet's dead, here it is in a sack, then they'll give you 10% extra marks.
It's not 10%.
5%.
No. Not 5%.
15.
It's 2%.
Paper!
2%. 2% if your pet dies, but only when does your pet have to die?
On the morning of the exam.
On the morning of the exam.
What if you live in a zoo? You can pass without writing anything down, couldn't you? Rhino's gone.
If you own a zoo. Last shotgun, I don't feel very confident today. What if you're sitting in practical biology? Can you dissect it?
For extra marks?
Yeah.
Here's me coursework. Wham.
There was a boy when I was doing O-level biology.
You're making it up.
No. Really? Yeah. You were given a specimen. It was like an insect. In question 1, it said, draw it. So he stabbed his compass through it to make it still, and then he drew it. And question 2 was, observe its behaviour.
I mean, if he's killed, you can just trace round it, really. Cheating.
If you've got asthma, you get an extra 2 points.
No, well, no, not if you have asthma. If you have an asthma attack, you get 2 points.
Listen, if you've
What
got
if you're attacked by an asthmatic? Yeah. And he also kills your dog in a mild frenzy.
Yes, an asthma attack, or indeed being attacked by an asthmatic, you'd hear them breathing. Witnessing a distressing event that day, if you saw somebody being attacked by an asthmatic...
Can you sort of say, look, I'm terribly distressed because I don't know anything. And this is causing me trauma to actually sit.
This is an extract from David Blunkett, the musical.
On the left, David Blunkett. On the right, Kimberly Quinn. And the beginning of a love story.
Always wanted to know what it would be like to sleep with a blind man.
He laughed. That's what she said. He laughed, but that's what she said to him when she first met him.
But it sounds better delivered by a soprano, doesn't it? Fantastic, I'll have to go.
Martin what early this year?
Peaked. Peaked?
Cheated, I would think.
Cheated?
That's a serious allegation.
Very serious allegation. There's a whole world of misery out there.
This is about vegetables, isn't it?
It's actual pride is the word. Merton Pride early this year.
Is there a big march in Lambeth? People go along in flowery T-shirts saying, yeah, I'm a bit like him.
Well, it's about time. It's about time I had a bloody parade. So you can't demand a parade, it looks bad. A parade just happens spontaneously.
You should look humbly surprised,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You can't start organising it.
Open your door and there's 100 people going, we're here, we're Paul, get used to it.
That's all I'm asking.
Shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
The Merton Pride is, of course...
I mean, what I want is, like, little school kids with papier-mâché heads that look like me. Just walking up and down the high street. And yet you speak to the producers on this programme and think I'm asking for the world. I told them there's a world of misery out there. Let's brighten it up.
What sort of vegetable is a Merton Pride, anyway?
It's a pear.
When did you decide not to renew the existing legislation, then?
Well, what we've got now is legislation with control orders, which we think will meet
Sure,
our
but
needs.
when did you decide not to renew the existing legislation?
Well, what we've decided is to pursue this legislation because we think this is more appropriate, far more appropriate.
My question was when you made the decision.
But we've made the decision that we want to respond to the law
When
lords.
did you make the decision?
As we've brought forward this new legislation, we've now published that legislation.
Yes, but when did you make this decision?
To bring forward this legislation,
Yes,
we've
instead of renewing the existing
Well,
legislation.
what we've done is a parallel process.
But when did you make that decision, since you could, you say, renew the existing legislation?
Well, that was an option open to us to renew that legislation, which is why we laid the order originally, because the existing legislation expires on March the...
One last time. When did you decide not to do that, but to bring in this new legislation?
The Home Secretary made his statement to the House of Commons on the 26th of January, saying that he proposed to bring forward legislation with a series of control orders.
OK, well, let's move on.
He's just redoing the old material. Did you threaten to overrule him? It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
He's got to move out from that. He's got to suddenly make funny noises and say, was that you? Things like that.
They could always answer the question.
Yeah.
But
It's
no.
not
Well, he had a very good line about Saddam, which a lot of the American
Did.
papers haven't reported. They said, you've met Saddam many times, and he said, no, I've met him the same number of times as Donald Rumsfeld, and the difference is that when Rumsfeld met him, he was selling him guns. Which is a very good line.
He's really impressed them over there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not given his own show.
I mean, what did
Anne
they
Robinson,
make of
Simon Cowell, George Galloway. It's a similar mould.
the big baddie?
You can't tap dance no go! You see those things on berries? Am I the only one who's really tempted to light the top of it? This is what criminals have to wear. They have to wear berets that are slightly alight. So when they're committing some crime in the dark, the infrared cameras from the helicopters can pick them out really easily.
And make them sell garlic door to door.
No,
and
no, no.
onions.
You're taking a good idea and making comedy out of it.
Well, excuse me.
It's a first for this show.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. Man United-y type
Man
thing.
United.
This is, I believe, a football
He is.
club in the north of England.
Yeah, no, I'm Man United. Everyone knows all about them.
Oh, the numbers involved in this. What did Rolf have to say about the project?
Did you get very overexcited and do that heavy breathing thing? With the ball. You do that?
You do know he's asthmatic, do you?
No, I didn't. But he's worked it into the routine quite nicely.
It's brilliant, yeah.
I know he's got 3 legs as well, so he's doing well.
It's a good bit. What? Stunned by vibrating pants?
SpongeBob.
It is Swansea's Asda. A lady was wearing Anne Summers' leatherette vibrating pants. And she overdid it as she was doing her shopping in Asda in Swansea. And she had so many orgasms that she passed out, hit her head on a shelf. This is absolutely true. It was in the Sun.
Believe me, if you live in Swansea, it's worth doing.
And she had to be rescued, and her pants were still vibrating. And she passed out.
Does she have to go into the 6 orgasms or less queue? But other shoppers must think that she's really found a bargain. She's picking up a jar of mustard going, yes, yes! Quick bar of the mustard, there's 21p off it. Yes! Have you got any family-sized crisps? Is it all right if I park my car? Oh, yes! Got any frozen peas? I'll defrost them myself.
What in league with the Doctor?
Is this about Ian becoming a new Doctor Who?
Is it you? It'd be brilliant for Private Eye, wouldn't it? You'd be able to research things and not get sued so much.
Fantastic. I had a very bizarre morning on Monday because I woke up and put on Radio 4 and it was just a minute. And I thought, oh, God, Nicholas Parsons has died. And then there was about 5 minutes of Merton. I thought, God, Paul's died.
It must have been a cruel disappointment for you.
I thought I might win this week. So you're definitely not coming back?
No, 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 no. I can just about manage this bunch of comedians, but I can't manage that bunch of comedians.
Excuse me, are you managing us? Is that what you're doing? You're managing us, aren't you?
It's subtle, yes.
It's f***ing subtle from where I'm sitting.
Right, there we go, Paul and Peter.
This is about to celebrate 200 years of the Battle of Waterloo, 200th anniversary, and they're going to restage it. But it's not going to be the French against the British, it's going to be the blue team against the red team, because the French will be observing and we don't want to upset them. So if they don't know the result, we're not going to tell them. If you don't want to know what the result is, look away from the screen now. So it's red versus blue, isn't it? That's what
it's not Waterloo,
It's Trafalgar.
Trafalgar, I mean.
We don't want to admit publicly that we beat the France.
The France?
Beat the France. I can't even say it, it's so painful.
It is strange, isn't it? It's like teaching people about World War II and not mentioning that the Germans were on the other side.
But we're not meant to now. Every time anyone says anything on this show, you get a complaint from the German ambassador. Oh, you are so backward, you English. Why can't you just forget it all?
Is he here? Is the German ambassador here?
Among the words now deemed offensive is paddy. Not sure how you'd refer to a paddy field. Presumably that place where the Chinkies get their rice from. So... Now...
Is it Bernard Manning we have here? When you were making that speech at the age of 16, did you think your life would turn up and you ended up on a light entertainment programme calling Chinese people Chinkies?
I do know that I said half of you won't be here in 30 years' time, and when I went back last year and looked at them 28 years later, all the same people are still there. And I've been and gone in the meantime. Yes, Ian and Mark, quick off the mark again.
Yep, this is the political ones for us. This is Crazy Frog.
A ringtone, and now a pop hit by a German band, I believe.
He's a major recording artist, Crazy Frog.
What does it sound like? Give us a rendition, Ian.
OK, you got me there. I do know it's displaced the popular singer Coldplay.
You're wriggling out of an answer. And what about Winston Churchill? I think Paul got that right, Norman Shelley. And do you know how he got into the part?
I don't know. Did he say... I don't know.
He took out his false teeth before he voiced Winston Churchill.
Oh, really?
And
why was he wearing Winston Churchill's false teeth?
So, yes. The answer is...
So he was wearing Winston Churchill's teeth?
I have no idea either.
You don't know?
The answer is...
You sit there as a quizmaster, unless it's written up there, you know... Well, I was going to say all, but I won't. You don't.
So you can say that, we'll cut it out at the end.
Oh, we cut it out.
You will have what?
Oh, it's my friend again.
Yeah.
You will have to go on about the war all the time. Winston Churchill.
He's quite camp, isn't he, this German?
Yeah. He's getting camp.
Yeah. They call me the camp commandant, I don't know why.
Dame Ellen MacArthur's involved in the whole thing. Did you know that?
Is she?
Yes.
Who is?
Ellen MacArthur.
She sailed around the world. Did you
Yes.
say?
Yeah, no. I didn't think she was one of the Spice Girls.
I want to bring Evan in here again. Talk us through the implications of the International Monetary Fund's policy.
In your own time.
Yeah.
Do you want a musical background?
International Monetary Fund. It probably gets a tougher rap than it ought to. It's very... But, you know, that it makes
Tougher
mistakes...
rap? Hey, yeah.
That it makes mistakes, I think, is, you know, indisputable.
Thanks, Evan. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Who has Prescott helped out this week? Do we know?
Is it KFC?
Yeah. He's introducing the new bucket range. It's going to be a trough of chicken. A family trough. A ditch of chips.
Any more?
Coleslaw in a skip.
I think this is a property question.
Yes, it is.
Because Sean Woodward's a new Labour MP. Oh, blimey, this is interesting. Oh, it's the board going.
Oh,
Sorry
sorry about
the
that.
BBC.
I feel a bit lonely without that. It's sort of... Go on, you think it's a property question?
Oh, I can't just retake it like that, love.
Ian's working from gut instinct here.
What am I meant to be feeling now?
Unwanted, I think, the way you've been treated, a disgrace. I think we should strike. Let's strike. Let's strike. Everybody up.
That's it.
I'll put it back up for you. Oh, it's broken. So, where were we?
Oh, David can answer the question.
Ian, I know you just have to really just focus on it. It's a really bad thing that's happened in the middle of your answer, but listen, I'm with you on this one. I'll be the wind beneath your wings.
I'm just centering myself.
Yeah. Oh, are you? Really? Do you want a quiet moment?
OK, I think this is a property question. Thank you.
2 weeks camping in a car park just to what?
2 weeks camping in a car park, just to say you've been 2 weeks camping in a car park. That's the end of the series. Thank you very much. Good night.
And after months of speculation, the BBC finally announced who's going to be taking over from Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper.